We need to be united as a party to win the next election, and the membership is united on PR. PR is not a left issue, it's not a right issue, it's a Labour issue. We need an electoral system which fairly represents all people. First past the post is broken and only Labour can fix it, and we must.
I am here to second the motion for proportional representation. I could talk about how our Welsh Labour government has been in power under a PR system for the last 22 years, or the fact that only 2 other countries in Europe use first past the post, and that's ours and Belarus. Above all, we should be clear. This is simply nothing fair about the current system. It ignores the voices of millions of voters just because they don't live in a marginal constituency. It is no longer fit for modern politics.
We know that we have to win the next election by means of first past the post. But we need to move the discussion on, so we include PR in a Labour manifesto.
Let's follow in the footsteps of Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland and every other country in Western Europe. Back democracy, back electoral reform.
Thank you,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Comrades, the late Robin Cook summed this situation up very well. He said, "I'm not prepared to put up with a system which once every generation gives us an opportunity to govern in the exact same way as the Tories." And do you know what? He was right then and he's right now. When we win the next general election, and we have to win that election, we cannot fall into the same trap of propping up a broken voting system which has enabled the Tories to wreck this country, wreck its constitution and harm workers, millions of them across these islands.
But I see so few of my friends and my generation engaged in politics actively, even if they're passionate about key issues. So many do not show up to vote. And it hasn't been said yet, but 15.5 million people did not vote at the last election. That cannot be acceptable to us.
Our supporters in rural areas and small towns feel neglected and ignored because, as a party, we have to concentrate on winnable and marginal seats. Conference every one of the leaders of our sister parties in Spain, Norway and Germany who addressed us, and our own Mark Drakeford were elected under PR. Let us have the courage to believe in ourselves and our ability to win elections. Let us offer the voters a voice of their own and know that their vote will count.
Thank you.
I regret that during my adult and teenage life we have never had a representative and consensus-based government. I look to our comrades in Europe who just in the last year have performed fantastically with PR in Spain, Norway and with congratulations to the SPD just last night in Germany.
The last election there were 13.5 million votes for the Tory party and there were 13.5 million votes for Labour and Lib Dem together. And the Tory party managed to elect 150 more MPs, but actually slightly less of the vote. It is simply undemocratic.
But I want to make the point that actually this is not a distraction and PR isn't peripheral. It's actually the centre platform of a Labour government and the centre platform of Labour policy. If, friends, we were to adopt this policy, don't think of it as a cherry on top. Think of it as the crucial foundation of our Labour platform. We know that Labour is about giving people the power to change their lives. PR is about giving people the ability to choose their leaders, giving people the ability to feel represented. Labour is about empowering people to do the things and impact their communities in positive ways.
When Labour's in power, Labour delivers. In Wales and in the mayoralities, the voters who backed us are seeing clear results in their quality of life. Devolution is the way to voters. The best politicians care about the issues which matter to the people, not to the journalists. That's why I'm proudly in support of all of our councils and devolved administrations across the UK. Many hands make light work, and good politicians exist in Westminster as well as in the Town Hall.
There is now peace in Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland is a thriving cross-community. The benefits of PR are worth considering. In Northern Ireland, it has secured peace, economic growth, and a generation of young people who have not known war. And believe me, that's got to be the biggest thing.
In our Labour Party and our Labour movement, we have a long and proud history of standing up for our values. Unlike the Tories, we believe that society should be fairer and more equal, and that everyone should have a voice and should count, no matter who you are or what your background is. In that spirit, when we are next in government, and my God, it cannot come soon enough, under Keir Starmer, we must change our electoral system to one that reflects those values. No matter who you are, where you come from, what your background is, your vote must count equally.
Hi, Matt Gibson, Leeds West CLP and proud GMB member. I'm speaking in support of this motion, and I'll give 3 reasons why. 1, every single country with more than 40% of female MPs in its primary legislature uses proportional representation. 2, research shows that over the last 53 years, countries with PR had left-leaning governments 74% of the time. And over the same period, countries with majoritarian systems, like ours, had right-wing governments 75% of the time. And thirdly, there is a majority of progressive voters in this country. Yet, because of first past the post, we are stuck with this immoral and incompetent Tory government. Every single opinion poll that gets published shows an anti-Tory majority in this country. And that means that if a general election was held tomorrow under PR, the Tories would be out of government, Labour would be in.
In almost every single election in living memory, the majority did not vote for the Tories. I know how elections work, and maybe I was a bit slow, but I just assumed that our government reflected what people voted for, but it doesn't. The Tories have had so much power because our current electoral system is so bad at giving fair representation. Why have we still got this ridiculously unfair, outdated system that delivers so badly for the majority of voters? This isn't right. For every issue you care about, every issue everybody cares about, important issues, everything we've been debating and voting for here, we need to be in power to make the most difference. But our electoral system is stopping the fair distribution of power, putting an undemocratic stumbling block in our way. I know electoral reform isn't the most inspiring of topics, but it's crucial that we sort this out. It is not a distraction. Far from it. We need a foundation on which we can build a more consistent and lasting progress, where our important policies can be put into action and be built upon, not repeatedly destroyed by Tories, put into power by a minority of voters.
Our rights, your rights, my rights are being taken away from us by a government that cares little about what we say, do or think, and even if we live or die. Huge parts of this country have seen ordinary people vote for Labour all their working lives with no hope of representation at Westminster. What hope is there for us if we can't offer hope to our voters, supporters and loyal campaigners? Conference, I challenge the whole Labour movement today to make history, do the right thing, and to give everyone in this country the opportunity to have our votes count for something, wherever we choose to live. Please support this motion.
Thank you. I am fervently in favour of PR. We must get it. It is the only way. Our present parliamentary system was built for colonial gentlemen. It was not built for the modern era. Thank you.
The arguments against proportional representation are based on misrepresentations. First of all, in 2011, the British public did not reject proportional representation. They rejected alternative vote, which is a majoritarian system. And actually, polling by YouGov suggests that the public are in support of proportional representation. Another argument made is that proportional representation will end in endless coalitions. Again, this is not necessarily the case. In both Malta and South Africa, you have outright majority governments with fully proportional systems. What proportional representation gives is what voters vote for.
Theresa May is my MP. While she is my MP, she does not represent me, my views or desires for Maidenhead, the UK or beyond. My name is Catherine, but my vote is pointless. My vote today in a general election here in the UK is pointless. My vote is pointless because I live in Maidenhead and want to vote for Labour. Suffragettes died so that I can vote, and I do vote every time. But my vote is pointless under the first-past-the-post system that we've got. No wonder it's hard to get the vote out in Maidenhead.
And I've listened and I've learnt a lot, and it's all because of you, members. And I want you to know that your votes do matter. I've heard it quite a lot when I've gone canvassing. Why should I vote here? We know it's a safe seat. And it's a fair point. So why don't we address this balance? We should be backing transformational change. We should be backing PR. And I can tell you this, as someone who's got friends in Belarus, it's not a good comparison to be compared to Lukashenko's regime there. We have an opportunity here. We can do something transformational. Every Labour government, from Attlee even to Blair, has done something different, whether it be the minimum wage or the NHS. We have done something transformational and beneficial for this country, and we can do it again, and we need to do it by backing PR. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate.